What is happening, guys? Kadi Plays here, bringing you another Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel video. And in today's video, I'm going to be doing a meta report for this past week's tournaments from October 4th through October 9th. I want to start off by apologizing for releasing this video a little bit late. I'm recording and probably uploading this on Thursday. Usually I try to get this video out on Monday at the start of the week, but there was a few other videos that I had to take care of earlier in the week, such as the new set release, tier list, stuff like that. So this is coming to you guys a little late, and I apologize. Also, it was because this week was really weird in terms of tournaments. There wasn't very many of them. There was only 3 that we're going to be discussing today, which is very, very low compared to the normal amount. Normally we have like 4 or 5. But there wasn't a DMC Meta Weekly this week, and I think that was probably a big part of it. But I think next week things are going to be back to normal. So without wasting anyone's time, let's jump right on into the first tournament I'm going to talk about today, and that is Damage Step 47. It was 39 players, single elim, 1 deck, 15 card side deck. It's best of 3, of course. The first place deck was Thunder Dragons here, which is it's pretty cool to see this deck winning. I like to see it. It's 47 cards, so it's kind of a heavy list. We're playing Buster in the main deck. So Buster locking, D-Shifter in the main board, really powerful. Other than that, like nothing too crazy here. It's got the Gustav in the extra. Kind of be shocked if he ever summoned this, but that's pretty cool. Yeah, nice. Nothing too crazy here. It looks pretty standard. There's no big Thunder Dragon, so there's no Duo Dragon or the Thunder Dragon Lord thingy or Chaos Creator. I think those are the different names of them. But yeah, also no Crossout. It's a little weird. Other than that, I don't think I'm missing anything in this deck. It's fairly standard, but it's cool to see this deck winning. Second place here, we have a Adventure Despia. I'm surprised to see this, to be honest with you. I'm surprised people are actually playing this list as opposed to just like the Fright for stuff for the Allure build. But, it worked out. He's exactly on 40 cards, so it's like hyper consistent. Got the one Bell, 1 Tragedy. That's a little weird. 1 Pot. Okay. It's Adventure Despia. Yeah. Oh, he's playing a lot of Links. Okay, so Link Spider, Striker Dragon, and the Verte. So Striker's obviously for this. You just normal summon Albaz, and you can just link off into Striker Dragon, and then you have Branded in red. You're able to make Mirror Jade or Lebellion. So that's a pretty cool little interaction. But he's only playing 2 and 2, so it probably doesn't come up very much. But usually, if you're going to play this, you'd be playing 3 and 3. But yeah, that's interesting. Side deck, fairly standard stuff. Super Polys in the sideboard, 1 Droplet in the sideboard. It's a little strange. Ratios are weird, but good job getting second with it. Then we have a top 4 Pendulum Magicians. This is the deck that I lost to. I lost in top 8 to this guy. I lost for 2 reasons. One, because I misplayed really, really, really bad game 1. And game 2, I completely bricked. I literally didn't play. I set 1 monster in 4 turns. It was terrible. But he's on the Luster stuff. I don't know this deck well enough to say what's weird and what's not, but it's really cool that this card's come to 2, this card's come to 3. It's still at 1. Is that 3 in TCG? It's probably because they have just different stuff banned, but that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, this deck looks pretty good. I'm surprised he's on 43 cards. The deck is very, I wouldn't say it's inconsistent, but I think it needs consistency more than anything, and I'm surprised putting it at 43 was the way to go about it, but it worked out for him. He played well. Side deck, extra deck, side deck. Oh, it looks pretty normal. From what I know about this deck, it looks pretty normal. Then got a top 4 Spyral. I like to see this. I like to see a more pure Spyral list as opposed to dangers and stuff. And this list is really cool. It's 44 cards. It's kind of a lot. I don't really like going over 40 in a deck like this. It's playing Striker stuff, which is interesting. Yeah, I mean, this is just for link climbing and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. Interesting. He's not playing. Oh, he's not playing that spell. Hold on. Wait a minute. He's not playing this. He's not playing Assault. Wow. I don't think I've ever seen a list not play Assault. That's weird. Let's see. 1 in 90%. Yeah, he's like the only one on the website not playing it. That's crazy. But he's hopped with it, so that's pretty cool. All right, yeah. Interesting list. Interesting take on the deck. I personally like more pure variations of the deck, so I probably wouldn't be playing the striker stuff, but, you know, it worked out for him. Got the appointer in the main board. This is for Griffin. You can basically just send it to the graveyard with Curious, and then you can set it back to your field with Griffin. So it allows you to just basically get, you know, a free appointer or any floodgate you want. Some people go with anti-spell. Some people do a lot of different stuff. But all right, moving on to the next tournament. This is the Third Eye Weekly, number 27. This was 45 players, single elim, one card deck, 15 cards side. One deck, 15 cards side deck. It's a best of 3. First place was a Despia, branded Despia. He's playing the Saravis in the main board. It's kind of interesting. I think it's the first time I've seen this being played in the deck. Gosh, yeah, it's literally only in Despia. This is like the only Despia that's been playing it. That's crazy. But that's pretty cool. For those of you who don't know, like what this card does, let me just read it for you. All right. So basically, it's a level 7 light dragon ritual effect monster, and it reads: you can ritual summon this card with Sprite's Blessing. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a monster you control, quick effect, you can discard this card, negate the activation. When your opponent would special summon a monster or monsters, quick effect, you can return this card to the hand, negate the special summon, and if you do, banish that monster. So really, this is just like a targeting prevention card. Unless I'm missing some form of synergy here, I don't know why this would be in the deck as opposed to, I don't know why this would be in the deck as opposed to like comedy or something like that. Maybe I'm completely missing something. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a monster you control, quick effect, you can discard this card and negate the activation. When your opponent would special summon a monster, quick effect, you can return this card to your hand, negate the special summon, and if you do, banish that monster. I don't exactly know what I'm missing, but I feel like I'm missing something, some sort of synergy here that's making this card better than it's appearing to me, because I don't know why you would play this over comedy. Maybe because it's a dragon and it works with branded high spirits, which there's that. I mean, that's pretty cool. That's a cool little interaction, but yeah, other than that, other things to note, he's playing 3 Albions. I really like this. I like playing a lot of Albions in the deck. I think Albion's a really good card. It makes the deck hyper consistent. He's already on 40 cards playing Gold Sark, 3 Allures, Foolish Burial. Very, very consistent. That's kind of what he's going for, but he's going for less power as he's not playing the Edgem stuff, and I think it's a really interesting list. This is the only like question mark I have. I don't necessarily understand this. And also Branded Retribution's interesting. I mean, I'm assuming it's because he's playing the Albions, but usually if you're going to be playing multiple more carriers and the Albions, you're going to be playing Branded Sword. So this choice is a bit interesting to me. Some of the choices here have been interesting to me, but overall, it worked. Very well played. It's a cool list. I like to see new takes on the deck. Then second place, we have a Numeron. Jesus. Oh gosh, people playing Numeron. That's ridiculous. 3 Lava Golems, 3 Kaijus. Obviously, the Wind Kaiju is because of Fluenderies. You got to play this one because you can tribute. You can special summon this even when the Wind statue's up. Storm, a bunch of going second cards, droplets, imperms, limit removal. This deck's toxic. He's not playing Appaloosa in the extra deck, which is interesting, but yeah, okay. Cool, moving on. I guess there's really not much to say about this deck. It's Numeron, it's an OTK deck. It's kind of dumb, but it's working. Top 4, we have a Swordsoul, 44 cards. It's every time I see this deck over 40 or over 41, I'm like, why? But he just wanted to play more hand traps, so he's playing the 1 Ghost Ogre in the main board. He's on Shadana plus Circle. I do like that. Only 2 Desires and 44 cards, 2 Desires. That's interesting. 3 Ecclesia. yeah, my take on this deck is just keep it at 40, 41, cut the Ghost Ogre, cut one Ecclesia up, put another Desires in there, maybe cut Natara. Yeah, but yeah, no, I mean, like, good job, shout out to this guy. Like, he got top 4 with it, so he's doing good with it. But it's always interesting to see this deck go to like this many cards with only 2 Desires in the main board. It always confuses me. We see the Rudy Rose in the extra deck. This card's really cool, but yeah, it's really cool, but it doesn't really have that many applications in the current meta. So I don't know why you would be playing like 4 level 10 synchros. Like, he's playing 4 level 10 synchros. I guess it's just because you have the room for him. But yeah, it's interesting. Some side deck cards, going first cards here, going second cards here. Like, Judgments are purely going first. But yeah, okay. Again, I've said this in like almost all the videos. If it sounds like I'm being like critical of some of the deck choices, it's just because I don't necessarily agree with them or understand them from like my understanding of the deck and like how I experience tournaments. However, these guys are topping with these decks. So, you know, clearly there's something here and I could be wrong. So I just want everyone to like recognize that. Just because I say something doesn't mean it's like true. But I am going to continue to like question like what is good and what is not in these decks, to try to optimize to give you guys the best potential lists and best potential chance for topping tournaments if you're going to be playing in them. I think that goes without saying, but I also just want to like put that out there in case anyone didn't realize that. Then we got a top 4 Madolche here. Game is in the main board. I love this. 1 bell. I've never understood one of a hand trap in a deck unless you're playing 3, unless cross the designator's at 3, so I understood it back like a few months ago, but I don't understand one hand trap in the main deck. Like, why is the 1 bell in here? Like, what's the purpose of this? I guess it's because you just have a flex spot, an extra spot, but I don't know. Because it's kind of like saying like I'm okay to draw this card, but I don't necessarily want to draw this card. And it's like you're also playing 1 Max C, which is weird. It's like, why are you playing 1 Max C, 1 Bell, 1 Pankratops, and not just 3 Max C or like 3 Bells or like 3 Veilers or something like that, or like whatever you want to play. Going for like the 1/1/1, it just makes it so inconsistently that you're going to be seeing these cards that you're putting in your deck because you want to see them. So I don't know. It just curious me. Let me know what you guys think about in the comments. Like let me know down below like what you guys think about like deck building, and like why is a choice like this made, as opposed to just like playing like 3 Max C. But it's interesting. I'm thinking about doing a video on like the principles of deck building, but we'll see. This is something to note in the side deck. This Grave of the Super Ancient Organism. This card's really cool. It's a Floodgate. It's a continuous trap card that reads, all level 6 or higher special summon monsters on the field can't declare attacks or activate their effects. So this is really good against Swordsoul, and it's really good against Despia. That's why it's in here. But yep. Okay, moving on to the last tournament. We have the Hay Cup 32. The first place deck here was a Adventure Virtual World, which is pretty cool. Like, this deck, in my opinion, this deck's in a really, really, really bad spot. But, it's still seeing success, which is cool. I think Roshi needs to be unlimited. I don't know why it's not unlimited now that VFD's banned. But yeah. Noticeable stuff. He's on double Nanian. It's a little shocking to me. I think I usually play this at 1. I see most lists play this at 1, but he's on 2. It's pretty cool. I guess it's just to make Italy a bit more versatile. I'm not sure. 1 Talons in the main board. It's kind of the same rule that applies with like playing 1 Max C in your deck. I don't understand like why you're playing 1 of this card. This is a card that like it's good when you draw it like most of the time. So like play more of it, like play 3 of it so you can see it as much as possible. But I decided to play 1. The 1 pot of P, obviously. No Desires. I guess Desires isn't as good in this deck as it was in other versions of Virtual World, because you're only on the 1 Enchantress and the 1 Griffin, the 1 Dragobag. Like, you don't want to banish with 1-ups, right? So, yeah. Okay, cool. I don't think anything too crazy in the main board. I don't think anything's too crazy over here. Extra, this Hyper Psychic Riser. I think this is not really commonly played. Shooting Riser in the main board. How's he making this? He's making it with a token. Okay, so the token and like one of his level 3 tuners to go into Shooting Riser to send snow. Okay, that's pretty cool. I like that interaction. Vermilion. He's not playing the Gothams. For those of you who don't know, I think that's how do you spell it? I have no idea how to spell it. This guy right here. Oh, Yugioh. Okay, so this guy. XX for Gothams. This guy's really cool in the deck. Basically, you contribute. It reads, it's 1 tuner plus one or more non-tuner Earth monsters, so it's really easy to make in Virtual World. And it's a level 9, so it's again really easy to make. You contribute 1 X-Saver monster to discard 1 random card for your opponent's hand. So you summon this, you synchro into this, use its effect to like rip a card out of your opponent's hand, and then you synchro into Cloud Castle. Is that not a card? What? Oh, it's all one word. Okay. So then you synchro into Cloud Castle. And then Cloud Castle's effect is you can target 1 level 9 monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So basically, you can then just rip 2 cards out of your opponent's hand, because then you can use this to resummon the Gothams and rip 2 cards out of your opponent's hand going first, which is really, really powerful. And I think it's really good. I'm surprised more people aren't playing it, but the extra deck can get kind of tight in a deck like this, because there's a lot of different utility cards that you need to be playing in this deck. But anyways, moving on. Sorry, the website is being very slow, but the other decks in the top 4 of this tournament were, just going to pull this up here, jumping over. All right. So second place here in the Hiccup 32 was Tri-Brigade branded. So 1 Valor. I just talked about how I feel weird about this. 1 Bell, 1 Alpha. I understand Alpha in a deck like this. You know, Alpha has good synergy with the Tri-Brigade stuff, so I understand that. I do find it weird playing like 1/1/1 of cards. Usually, my rule of thumb is you play 1-ofs that are limited to 1, you don't want to draw, or that are searchable. But again, I'm thinking about doing a deck building series or deck building guide. So let me know in the comment section below, like, if you think that would be interesting. But he's playing Gamma on the main board. I like it. I love Gamma. You guys know how I feel about that. Yeah, this looks like a pretty standard, straightforward list. He's at 40 cards, not that many hand traps. He's on 3, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, no, 13's fine. 13's fine in this deck. Omega, obviously, for the Gamma. Yeah, okay, this looks pretty standard. Nice. Moving on to top 4 Swordsoul. 40 cards. I like to see it. Love it. 1 Bell. Gosh, everyone's just trying to frustrate me with the 1 Bells. It's driving me crazy. 1 Vishuda, no other Tenyis. Interesting. Okay, cool. So this is like a pure Swordsoul. It's not a Swordsoul Tenyi deck. It's basically a pure Swordsoul. It's got the Iris in the main board, Monster Reborn here, Summit here, Double Blackout, a lot of Exceeds. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, this is interesting. It's kind of cool. Very unique take on the deck, I think, at least in tournaments. So yeah, this is cool. I like to see it. And then the final deck we're going to be talking about today is another top 4 branded Despia. Something to note, we have the Stay Sailor here. This card's really cool. For those of you who don't know what this card does, it is a level 4 plant effect tuner monster. It's a light, so that's important. It reads, quick effect, you can target 1 face-up monster you control. Send 1 other plant monster you control to the graveyard, and if you do, the next time that targeted monster will be destroyed by battle or by card effect, it is not destroyed. That effect is not super relevant, obviously. Its second effect is, if this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can send 1 level 5 or higher plant monster from your deck or extra deck to the graveyard. So yeah, that's it. You can just send a level 5 or higher plant monster from your deck or extra deck to the graveyard. What you do is you send the Garden Rose Maiden. And this card reads, if this card is special summoned, you can add 1 black garden from your deck or graveyard to your hand. It's not super relevant. Don't worry about that part. And it also says you can banish this card from your graveyard to target 1 Rose Dragon monster or 1 Dragon Synchro monster in your graveyard. Special summon it. You can only use the effect of Garden Rose Maiden once per turn. So, I'm trying to figure out the connection here, because I know that this card is played in Despia Predaplant, and Predaplant Despia. But what I'm assuming we do here is we just go, you activate Branded Fusion, send Stay Sailor and Albaz, and then Stay Sailor's effect into summon Albion, right? And then Albion will activate Chainlink 1, Stay Sailor will activate Chainlink 2, Stay Sailor will send the Garden Rose Maiden from your extra deck to the graveyard, and then you go Albion effect, fuse Garden Rose Maiden, Fallen of Albaz into either Lubellion or Mirror Jade. So that's what I'm assuming it's for. It's basically a way to work around the discard for Lubellion, and if that's the case, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's actually really cool. I like it. It's interesting. Banish this card from your graveyard and the target 1 Rose Dragon or 1 Dragon Single Motion Graveyard Special. It'd be nice if you could abuse that effect, but yeah, okay, that's pretty cool. I like it. It's interesting. It adds a lot of utility. If I'm wrong and someone knows like the correct use of that, like let me know in the comment section below, but I think that's probably it. I haven't seen this combo in Master Duel. I know this was really getting popular in TCG because Predaplant Despia is a real deck there, but sadly here in Master Duel, Predaplant is not exactly a deck because, apologies for not being able to type. It's not going to be really a deck because we got their main normal summon Searcher is just limited to 1 here. So, and yeah, that's unfortunate, but maybe we can see that card get pulled off the ban list, so that deck can be a thing when the cards come out. But yeah, I think that is it. Yep, that is it for the tournaments this week. I'm just gonna go and jump back over here to the Damage Step logo, and I'm just gonna read off the top 4 deck, the winning decks, second place decks, top 4 decks, just one last time before I get you guys out of here. The winning decks this week were a Thunder Dragon, a Branded Despia, and a Virtual World. Second place decks, we had an Adventure Despia, Numeron, and a branded Tri-Brigade list. Then top 4, we had 2 Sword-Souls, 1 branded Despia, 1 Madolche, 1 Spyral, and 1 Pendulum Magician. So yeah, honestly a pretty diverse, array of decks topping and winning this week. It's kind of surprising. The meta is a lot more diverse than one might think. I think Despia and Swordsoul are clearly the top 2 decks in the format, but other stuff can without a doubt compete, because Despia and Swordsoul, albeit the best decks, are not incredibly powerful decks, right? They're just good at what they do. So, anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning into the video. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and speaking of comments, let me know down in the comment section below, like what you'd like to see from videos from me. Like, what other videos would you like to see? Would you like to see a deck building philosophy video? Basically how I go about deck building, or would you like to see some other stuff? And yeah, let me know what your guys' thoughts on the current meta are. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.